Hey everyone, it's Tuesday in Texas, and today we're talking about Starrcade 1997. So this is the last pay-per-view that WCW does at the very end of the year. This is supposed to be like their Super Bowl, right? This is their WrestleMania.
Yes, it's basically their version of what WrestleMania would be to WWF. So this has been going on for I don't know how long, like into the early '80s or what have you. So it's kind of like their little traditional pay-per-view.
Yeah. Is this the first one that they ever did? Was it Starrcade and then they expanded, kind of like it was WrestleMania, then they expanded?
What do you mean by that?
Was Starrcade their first WCW pay-per-view, or should I say NWA
I'm not
at the
sure.
time?
I have no clue. I never really looked into that, to be honest. So
I guess I'll have to
I have
look
no
that
idea.
up.
Yeah, I didn't do any research that far in.
Well, anyways, this is supposed to be WCW's WrestleMania, and this is where a lot of storylines are coming up, and this is the culmination of them. So let's just get right into it. Starrcade was December 28th, 1997, at the MCI Center in Washington, D.C. You have your normal commentary as far as Tony Schiavone, the Iron Mike Tenay, and Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, opening with Dusty Rhodes. Does he stay throughout the pay-per-view?
He does stay throughout the pay-per-view. There's
he does.
no Bobby the Brain Heenan. So.
He wasn't as annoying as I found him to be for our Halloween Havoc review.
He seemed a lot toned down this time.
Yeah. So we actually did open up with a good Sting vignette. I thought it was amazing. It was very atmospheric, and it told the story of Hulk Hogan and Sting, the build up to it in just shy of like over a minute. So it was actually really really well done.
Yeah, it was good 90s cheese. I mean, if you're familiar with the Crow that came out in the 90s, Sting basically modeled his new look after that, and it was good for the time.
We also had Tony Schiavone opening up the show by saying that it's the biggest night in this grand sport. And fucking all the time, Tony. I get it. This is like their WrestleMania, so that's fine. But
yeah, it would make sense saying it here if he didn't say it every damn
fucking
week.
every Nitro, every fucking pay-per-view, everything. Biggest night ever.
Yeah, they're all fucking busy, biggest night evers. Anyways, we do see a lot of the wrestlers in the crowd, and I was kind of wondering, do they get an appearance, a pay-per-view appearance fee or payment, or
No clue, no idea. You would think that they would have like just a no compete sort of like if somebody were to show up just to do like an interview or what have you, then they would get like sort of like that pay. I would assume it would be something like that, but who knows?
Yeah, I don't know how their pay structure goes, but I would assume that if they didn't have to be there, I'm sure they wouldn't want to be there. I mean, I listened on NPR, they had this thing about how football players don't like to go to the Super Bowl. They'll watch the Super Bowl at a party away from the area, but they themselves do not like to go to the Super Bowl unless they actually achieve and are actually playing in the Super Bowl, which makes a lot of sense. So I wouldn't think that the wrestlers would be there just to, like they say, watch the matches. I don't think they give a shit. They know what's going to happen. I'm sure they're getting some kind of payday, even if it's just a little bit, just to be an appearance on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for one, it's all staged, so they already know what's going on.
Yeah, of
Two,
course.
it's a work. They're probably like, if they had cell phones back then, they would probably fucking play on their cell phones. And like, three, it's just just for show.
Yeah.
Literally, that's all it's for. And later on down the line, I slowly started realizing, oh God, we're not going to see Rey Mysterio Jr. compete. Oh God, we're not going to see Booker T, Harlem Heat.
Yeah, there was a lot of great wrestlers in the audience, and you
guys.
don't see any of them actually perform, and you get... Well, we'll go over the matches, but they're pretty fucking awful.
Yeah, I already know what you're going to refer to with that one. So, and also, did you notice that Glacier was sitting in front of Wrath?
I don't...
They're
Oh yeah, they were sitting right next.
Yeah.
Were they sitting next to
Wrath.
each other?
Wrath was like literally like one row away from him, like behind him. I was like, wow, fucking break kayfabe, why don't you? Jesus Christ. I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, not great planning on their part. So do you want to get into the first match?
Yeah, let's just go with the matches.
Yeah.
So match number 1 was Dean Malenko versus Guerrero for the Cruiserweight belt.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think of that match?
It was good. It wasn't Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero good.
Oh, that is a very high bar to get up to.
Yeah. It like that was the last pay-per-view that we saw for WCW was Halloween Havoc with that match. Fantastic match. This one, it was good. They knew how to work the crowd, and one thing that I noticed was that they knew how to pace themselves as opposed to just go all out and just fire on all cylinders and like exhaust the crowd.
Yeah,
that's one thing that I know like really takes it out of a lot of people for certain cruiserweight openers.
Oh yeah, you can't just go spot, even though that's what we got for the Guerrero and Rey Mysterio match, which was fucking fantastic. But you can't do that every time. Your body can't take that.
Yeah.
So
and I think it's also because we had different wrestlers for this.
Oh yeah, this is a lot more technical rather than the high flying luchador.
Dean Malenko is very much so like mat based. So I'm pretty sure that he kind of designed this match for the most part, and also gave Eddie Guerrero, the leeway for what he wants to do. Of course, it's a dance. So
yeah, and that just proves how great of a wrestler the Guerrero is. He could pretty much match up with anybody. He could do the high flying with Rey Mysterio, and he could do the technical with Dean Malenko. It's just he's all around just fantastic. It's really too bad that he's not with us anymore.
Yeah, unfortunately for this match, they had to talk about other things than the match. I get it. It's the whole opening of the show. It's the curtain jerking, match where they have to run down the line of like everything that's been going on. I get it. Like this is where they say Nash is a no show.
Oh yeah, no, they do that right before Mike Tenay announces it right before anything happens.
Yeah.
And of course we'll get into that. But as far as the Malenko and Guerrero match,
okay. So do you know why?
I do know why.
Okay, we'll get to that later.
We'll get to
on
that.
Then. Okay, and then also, did you notice that there was a Heath Slater lookalike in the crowd? Guy with like length hair, like about this, and he just looks like Heath Slater from Three Man Band.
I
probably have no idea who Heath Slater is.
I have no idea who
Okay,
Heath
let's
Slater
just get
is,
back
so.
to the match.
Okay. So yeah, it was a good beginning match. It really got the people pumped up. So let's see how the rest of it goes. So right after, do you have anything else for that match or?
Nope. That's pretty much it.
So right after that, Scott Hall makes a unannounced appearance and comes to the ring and does his whole shtick as far as taking a survey, WCW versus NWO, who's there for what, blah blah blah, and then he announces that Kevin Nash is not actually there. So I did a little research and I found out that once Nash found out that he was supposed to job to the Giant, which Nash versus the Giant, this has been built up for a few months, and this was actually one of the co-main events. So up to that point, when he found out that he was supposed to job to the Giant, he actually claimed that he had a heart attack that afternoon and called in sick. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. The fucking afternoon of the pay-per-view. Holy shit. So yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's insane. All right. Oh my god, that's fucking stupid. So a couple points for this segment was by the way, Eddie Guerrero won. He keeps his title.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. There was a Homer Simpson mask in the crowd.
I did not see that. Where was it?
It was like as Scott Hall was coming out. If you rewatch it, you could see Homer Simpson, like some guy go Homer Simpson mask.
Ah, okay.
And then this was also I'm not going to mention that. That's a little the kid in the wheelchair.
Oh, yeah. Well, the camera keeps going to the kid, the guy, I'm assuming his father, with his kid in the wheelchair, and then just constantly grabbing his arm and, like, shaking it.
The poor kid, the poor kid. Now, what I was imagining, and I text this to you, was when Scott Hall says, the NWO, I imagined him just going, fucking shake the shit.
Just grab both his arms and just go.
That's what I imagined. So, just shake the shit out of this fucking poor kid.
Oh, man.
So anyways, he says something along the lines, like after he gets the whole Nash business taken care of. He says, I know everyone wants to see Hollywood beat up Sting, and somebody in the crowd goes, no we don't. They scream, no we don't. I was just laughing about that. And then what else?
So he calls out the Giant and says that the Giant wins, and then the Giant comes out, he has a few words, and then Scott Hall attacks him, and then rather than doing the choke slam, he sends a message to Nash by doing the power bomb onto Scott Hall. Why didn't they just have a match of Scott Hall versus the Giant? Is it because Scott Hall already has a thing with Eric Bischoff later on? They couldn't pay him a little more to have another thing? Yeah, of course it's not a reason, but
they could have easily, because they had such a time gap to fill, and I guess they were just like, oh well, just throw in a couple stuff more for your matches, guys. Whatever, you get an extra couple minutes here and there for your matches. Oh well. So, whatever.
Yeah, it was shitty.
Yeah. So we have our next match. I don't want to say this yet, but it, like, the way that they brought it out, it seemed like it was just going to be a tag match, right? Of fucking Scott Norton and Vincent versus the Steiner brothers. It's like, so I assumed that it was going to be a tag team match because of the way that they brought everybody out.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't understand what you were asking. So, no, it was always supposed to be a three-way match, 3 on 3.
Okay. I because the way that they set it up was it was first off, Vincent and Scott Norton came out to help out Scott Hall, so that was kind of weird. So they helped him back to the back.
Probably too drunk to get his way out of the ring.
Yeah, and then they came back out, and then the Steiner brothers came out. And Ray Traylor came out. Now, I thought that Ray Traylor was just there for support for them, like Ted DiBiase. Also, they're the tag team champions, and they're not fucking defending their titles. What the fuck is this? This is their fucking WrestleMania. Yeah. Come on. And then later on, Macho Man comes out.
Okay, so at the very beginning, it was Vincent and Scott Norton who were coming back to the ring after helping Scott Hall get to the back. And then the announcer, I don't know if you heard the announcer, but he said Conan. That Vincent, Scott Hall, and he's about to say Conan, he gets KO out, and then he just drops it.
Yeah, actually, I saw Scott Norton go, no, it's not. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, he gets right up into his face and goes, fuck off. No, it's not.
He probably doesn't say fuck off. He probably just says, cut it. And then he gets over to the ref, kind of makes it look like he's beating him up, but you could see them talking, and they're probably saying, hey, so Conan's not going to wrestle. I wonder, because when you watch Conan, later on, Conan has, does he get both kidneys replaced, or does he get... Oh,
God, I have no idea.
Well, he has kidney problems. You can see it in TNA. TNA pays for it, and that was a whole thing down the road, but... When you're coming up to that point, you kind of see these little telltales of Conan already having kidney problems. So I wonder if this is what kept him from really performing that night. And then they just had to scramble to get somebody, so maybe Macho Man was in the audience, and then they just pulled him aside and said, hey, can you fill in?
No, there wouldn't be any NWO guys in the audience. That wouldn't make any sense.
No, maybe not. Maybe he was just there for... I don't know, but they just got him to fill in, and that's why Randy Savage came out completely after everybody else. So they just had to do that last-minute change. But overall, the match was just boring.
It was okay. It wasn't great, but it was just kind of like, tag team. You don't really see like 3-man tags, so it's just kind of like, okay.
Yeah, and why have Vincent in there? He's like the least popular person, and this is your fucking Starrcade pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
It's stupid. And in the end, do you have any notes as far as the match goes, or
I love Macho Man's vest.
that's it?
That, and I'm glad that he didn't come out to the NWO B Team theme.
Yeah, I hate that
Hate
fucking
that
BT.
theme.
I didn't know that they did it so early. I thought that was like '98 that they were doing that, but '97.
It's also real sad that Scott Norton was relegated to the B Team of NWO because he was like real big in Japan.
Yeah, well, he was really big in Japan, but he really wasn't much in the U.S., so I think that's why.
Still, not much else to say about this match. The NWO one? Yes, NWO.
Yeah, the NWO one, and they had the NWO over your fucking tag team champs.
Yeah, that's fucking
What
stupid.
kind of bullshit is that?
Yeah, that's really stupid. So it's just kind of like, all right, well, let's go on to the next one. Or the next, we actually have a segment here.
Yeah, so it's Mean Gene interviewing J.J. Dillon about the referee that they're going to choose. Do you think they really chose a name out of a hat?
No, that's bullshit. No.
No, obviously it's going to be politics, but who the fuck takes shit out of a hat anyways? I've never understood. It's one of those old sayings that just people keep going back to in order to use, but it's just a really dumb expression.
Yeah, no, it's like, what if they go, it was fucking, all I can think is Earl Hebner right now. But like, what if they fucking pick out whatever fucking referee, and it's like, who the fuck is that referee? I don't fucking know. But since it's
they have to go with the storyline,
the NWO,
and they would have to go with the one person who's been in trouble before.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name.
Nick Patrick is his name.
Nick Patrick. That's it.
Yeah. So because he had like little going-ons with NWO in the early 1997, I believe, where he was like their referee.
Yeah, it was early '97. I think it was they started out with the NWO sold out, which was just the single NWO pay-per-view, which was shit.
Yeah. With this segment, you could tell it was obviously taped because like it has like a real awkward cut from like NWO theme, and then just the cut of audio and the cut of everything, and it just there's Mean Gene and J.J. Dillon. And it's like, I always hated that shit. It always takes me out of like everything. I'm like, okay, y'all are doing this stupid shit again. It's their editing. I don't like it. So, which we'll get into later on. They're like the way that they present everything.
Yeah. So, match number 3, was there anything on the VHS that followed that before match 3, or
no? It just went into Goldberg versus Mongo.
Yes, and the interesting thing about this match is Goldberg is the heel.
Is he?
Yes. He in this storyline of
Sure
Mongo
didn't
McMichael.
seem like it.
Yeah. Yeah, with this whole storyline of Mongo McMichael versus Goldberg, they have Goldberg as the bully, as the heel, and everybody's over for Goldberg, and nobody fucking likes Mongo McMichael.
Yeah.
So,
boy, was it weird to see the crowd sitting on their hands with no fucking reaction to Goldberg's music. I was like, oh, this is awkward. Like, it's not awkward. It's just you don't ever fucking hear a pin drop when Goldberg's music plays. You know?
Yeah, it's normally just ruckus everywhere, everybody getting on their feet and cheering, but
no pyro, no showing off, no cops, nothing.
well, this is pre all that stuff.
I know
mean,
that.
It builds up to it, but
I know. It's like when you think Goldberg, you think of him being escorted by the cops, the long build up to his entrance and everything, and then the crowd just going fucking bananas, and you get nothing.
Yeah,
it's just Goldberg. It's like, all right.
And then Mongo McMichael going through a table, and that's the only highlight.
Yeah,
And then,
holy fuck. He took that like a goddamn fucking tree falling down. Holy shit. Yeah, this should have been the match for fucking Halloween Havoc. You know?
yeah,
It would have been a way more interesting match than Alex Wright.
yeah, of course, and we've made that argument whenever we were doing the Halloween Havoc, and it goes to say again, what the fuck is with your booking, your shitty booking?
Obviously, Goldberg goes over.
Oh yeah, Goldberg wins.
This is like the beginning of his win streak.
Did they actually mention the winning streak?
No,
okay?
There's absolutely no mention, but like this is maybe about number 5 or 6 or something for Goldberg, because like he barely just started. So
well, he started in August, and that was 4 months prior. So I would think that he would probably be in like the teens
maybe,
by now.
Possibly, but they didn't mention anything about him having a winning streak. So
yeah,
probably
not till '98.
Yeah, more than likely. So we have our next match. It's Raven comes out. Raven comes out to no music. And so he cuts a promo on Chris Benoit saying, I'm not going to fucking wrestle you. It's going to be my boy Saturn. And Saturn comes out. He actually looks pissed. He actually looks pretty upset about this. I'm pretty sure that this was all planned and everything.
Yeah.
And this is a Ravens ruled match with Saturn versus Chris Benoit. Yeah. I cannot watch a Chris Benoit match without just thinking of what happened in 2007.
Yeah, I know. Every time we're watching these two together, and we're texting back and forth, because obviously you're not near whenever we're mostly watching this stuff. Yeah. But yeah, you constantly text murder.
Yeah. It's like I couldn't enjoy this match at all for like the technical aspects behind it. And literally the second time that I viewed it, I just fast forwarded it.
Really?
I did.
I sort of enjoyed the match. I liked seeing the Ravens flock coming in every once in a while and beating them up, and then going back out, and then the whole Saturn versus Chris Benoit. I did like some of the technical aspects of it. It's not as much as, say, the Guerrero and Dean Malenko earlier, but, you can't win them all. Yeah, I do have a lot of empathy for what happened to his family. Obviously, I mean, that's fucking horrific shit. But I've been watching a lot of the old WCW and a little bit of the WWF that had Chris Benoit in it. He took a lot of fucking headshots. His brain is fucked.
Yeah, it's absolutely scrambled.
I just feel sorry for the guy.
Yeah. Just how he got into that mindset,
Yeah.
It's a horrible thing. I don't want to dwell on that too much, because I actually watched wrestling during that time frame. I know that you were far out of wrestling, but
yeah, I stopped watching it about 2001. So,
yeah. So I was just kind of like for me, I can't enjoy his matches anymore. There was a promo that he did. Holy shit, did he fucking mess up that goddamn promo?
Was it the one on the ladder?
No, that's in WWF.
Oh, okay, you're talking WCW.
This is when he comes into the ring and he says something about like quote the crippler no more.
Oh yeah,
and then he's like stumbling over his words, and he emphasizes words weird, and it's like, this is why you don't write material for Chris Benoit, because he can't deliver it.
Yeah, he's not really a talker. He's not known for his talking. He's known for his wrestling skills.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah.
So other else, Chris Benoit wins, I guess. No, it's actually Saturn, because
Saturn goes over.
The flock comes out, and they beat him up and all that stuff. So, anyways.
Yep, yet another heel going over.
Oh, really?
Seem to see a trend.
I didn't notice. So wait, that's Eddie Guerrero. That's Saturn. Goldberg. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't see Goldberg as a heel throws me off. I'm like,
Yeah, that is kind of weird because you've always known him as a babyface, and obviously he is a babyface throughout his later career. But at the beginning, he was trying to be a heel, so
couldn't see that.
So yeah, next match is Buff Bagwell versus Lex Luger.
His entrance attire is amazing.
Yeah, that big ass jacket. I wonder if they told him to stop wearing that because of the whole black and red NWO thing about to come up.
Here's the thing. Also, did you notice that Scott Hall's Outsider shirt has NWO black and red?
Yeah, the original Outsider shirts did originally have the red NWO on them.
But Buff Bagwell was actually a part of.
He joined later. The original Wolfpack was Kevin Nash, Conan, Lex Luger, Sting.
Rick Rude, Kurt Hennig. Yep.
They
were in there for like a fucking second.
For a cup of coffee.
They were in there for a goddamn second. Because then they kicked. Because I read up on Rick Rude recently, and they kicked Conan's butt, and then said, "Fuck this, we're going to NWO Black and White."
Yeah.
So.
And Randy Savage, but he was also in there for a little while too.
And he mostly wasn't there just because of injury.
Yeah.
So.
So anyway, Buff Bagwell and Lex Luger, BB and LL. I just realized that.
What's that?
Buff Bagwell and Lex Luger.
BBLL. Oh,
Yeah.
During this, when we were texting, there was a Christmas festival that was going on, and I told you that I was gonna file a noise complaint for how loud they were, but I was also gonna file a noise complaint on how quiet Lex Luger was during this match, because he was fucking quiet.
Yeah, he was. He really didn't do a lot of selling.
Mm-hmm. It just seemed like he was really, really quiet throughout this match. During one of the spots for the match where they were doing like a headlock rest hold, you could hear like small chants from the crowd saying "boring, boring."
There was a lot of boring.
So during this match, there was a headlock rest hold, and so like Buff Bagwell had Luger in the rest hold, and you could hear chants of "boring, boring." Now that was a smaller chant, but then there was a bigger chant of "show your tits."
I don't think I heard that.
Really?
Maybe it was scrubbed from the WWE network, but
because you could see like dozens and dozens of people just like going like this, like, oh yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So you could see like a bunch of guys like looking, going, "Is she gonna do it? Is she gonna do it?" You know. So yeah, I just thought that was pretty funny. And yeah, the guys were the crowd was right. This was a boring match.
It was a very boring match. And also, I forgot to mention, there was a chant earlier during the Goldberg and Mongo McMichael match. Whenever Mongo went into the table, the crowd was yelling ECW, and they were doing it so loud that WCW had to turn down the volume of the crowd onto the tape.
Really? Huh.
Yeah,
I do.
You could hear them really loud, and then all of a sudden they're just
Okay. I heard the ECW chants, but I didn't know that they turned it down. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So for this match, it was boring. NWO came out. Macho Man came out. Got racked by Luger by a long time, actually.
Good amount of time.
Yeah. And then
I think it was Scott Norton who came out.
Scott Norton came out with a chain.
It was actually not. They said it was a chain, but it was actually not a chain. It was the dog collar that Rick. Yeah, when you look at the tape, it is the dog collar.
Rick
Steiner.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, he hit him with his dog collar, the studded black dog collar.
Huh.
So yeah, and then Scott Norton gets the ref who took a ref bump and was taking a nap. He picks him up, shoves him over after Buff Bagwell's placed on top of Lex Luger. 1, 2, 3, and another fucking heel goes over.
Yeah, and Miss Elizabeth comes out. Holy shit tits.
Yes.
They were just bouncing all over the place. I was like, thank you for that, camera guy. Yeah, and it was weird seeing Vincent kneeling over Macho Man because he had his hood up and everything. I was like, oh, that looks fucking weird. So it was weird all around. Like after the match was over, it was just kind of like, why are y'all are really stretching for the time for the match of Nash and Giant not being here.
Vincent got a lot of camera
He
time.
did.
Holy shit.
We mentioned this. We were like, can you imagine? Rey Mysterio's doesn't have a match, but Vincent does.
This is so bad.
It's like
Fucking
oh boy.
shit.
Oh boy. So our next match is Kurt Hennig, who is the United States champion.
Yep.
And he faces Diamond Dallas Page.
Now, originally, this was supposed to be Ric Flair versus Kurt Hennig for the U.S. title, but I believe Ric Flair had an injury, so Diamond Dallas Page gets this opportunity to get the U.S. title, which I do believe he wrestle earlier in '97 to get the U.S. title from Kurt Hennig? I thought they had a match before this, and then somehow Kurt Hennig has the belt back, and they're going at it again.
No, I couldn't tell you. I know
That's something to research, but
yeah. Let's see. Where the fuck was Rick Rude?
I haven't seen Rick Rude in a long time at this point, so I don't know where he is.
He's supposed to be in WCW at this time frame because this is where I started looking up information about Rick Rude so I could talk about this.
Yeah.
Rick Rude actually jumped over to WCW November 17th, 1997.
Yeah, so it was a month and some change. Wait a minute, say that again?
November 17th, 1997.
He jumped over to WCW.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, there was a month and some change before this, so why he's not on the pay-per-view, I don't know.
Yeah. And also Rick Rude, because of the tapings, because there were tapings going on with WWF and there were tapings going on with ECW, right?
Yep.
WCW, every time it was aired on Monday, it would be live. Like they had that money. They could do that easily. WWF had to cut back on costs by taping, so a lot of their stuff was in the can. Rick Rude actually had like a beard for WWF, and then he shaved it for WCW. So you see Rick Rude on WWF with a beard, and then he shaved it for WCW. So when Rick Rude came out live on WCW, when you flipped over after the commercial, you see Rick Rude with a beard on WWF. So it was a little surreal.
Yeah.
And then also during that time frame, they were running taped segments of Rick Rude in ECW because WWF let Rick Rude go over to ECW a couple of times to do some stuff.
Yeah, WWF and ECW had a sort of cross promotion with each other.
So technically, he's the first one to ever be like in all those shows at once, and like in a time span of a week, he was a part of those shows. But yeah, what'd you think of this match?
It was okay. Diamond Dallas Page, I'm learning to appreciate Diamond Dallas Page a lot more than I used to. I didn't really care for him whenever we were watching back in 97, 98, and because I was just an NWO mark, so well, whatever. Yeah. But yeah, it was an okay match.
Boy, the crowd was behind DDP.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit, he was over. The only thing that I didn't like about DDP tonight was his vest. His vest looked like fucking shit. It was brown and black. Fucking gross looking. You probably I
probably didn't pay attention to that part.
I love like entrance attire for for wrestlers. I'm big on entrance attire. I've been talking about.
Yeah,
it
you're
throughout.
okay with them wearing jeans?
It suits him, but I do like the spandex that he wears.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
rather him be in that shiny black spandex with
Yep.
a big ass diamond on the
I
side.
agree. I
That's
agree.
fucking
Yeah.
nice.
I agree, but it works for him. The jeans work for him just because of like the time frame. Yeah.
Whatever.
So yeah, this was a good match. I enjoyed it. And one other note for Rick Rude, he's the first wrestler to be a part of DX and NWO.
Oh, yeah.
Second being X-Pac.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. So
Which, of course, X-Pac is also absent from... When did he go to WWF? Was it early 98?
He appeared on WWF television the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania.
Wow, so all the way into March 98?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. He was still,
Still sort of under contract, but not actually making appearances because of drugs or
no, actually,
injuries.
No. Well,
No?
it is a legit injury. It's his neck. His neck was
Oh, yeah, that's
his
right. That's
neck
right.
was fucking jacked. And Eric Bischoff FedExed him his pink slip.
That's such a dick move.
Yep. And so Sean Waltman, that's his name, just said fuck this company, and I'm going back home. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Oh God, Diamond Dallas Page wins.
Yes, he does. He becomes the U.S. champ, and you
gets the
finally
title.
have one of your men go over.
Yeah, gets the title. We got a little build up going here for faces going over now, huh? Okay. You had asked me through text, was there a WCWWrestling.com commercial? No.
Did I?
Mm-hmm. You asked me if there was like some sort of
Maybe
spot
I asked if
for it.
there was on the WCW VHS. Okay.
There was not. I went back and forth with it, and I was like, am I missing it? And no, there is not. Was there one for yours?
I'm looking at what I wrote down, and I don't see one, so...
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So after that, match number 7, we have Larry Zbyszko versus Eric Bischoff with Scott Hall, and the guest referee is Bret Hart. Way to utilize Bret Hart.
Oh boy. You say that, and it's constant throughout WCW.
Yeah.
Of how they
That was the one thing that really stood out to me. You acquire one of the hottest wrestlers of the 90s. You don't do a fucking thing with him.
He's ready to fight, guys. Come on.
He's still, at that time, he was still able to put on a decent match.
Mm-hmm.
And, they just throw him into all these bullshit storylines and wavering back and forth. Is he with the NWO? Is he with the WCW? Who fucking knows? Who fucking cares?
So Bret Hart comes out to generic Biddle music to the beat of his old WWF theme. Eric Bischoff comes out to like some generic Biddle with NWO beat to it, like NWO stuff, like their little soundboard that they have.
Yeah.
And then Larry Zbyszko comes out to Nitro theme. It's like, all right. So I like to the entrances. The only thing that I loved about the entrance was Larry Zbyszko's ring attire. His entrance attire, like the
Oh, he had
jacket.
the old school jacket with the
school
Z
jacket.
on
Yep.
it. Yeah,
Yep.
that was pretty sweet.
That was great. They were really pushing the whole like Bret Hart checking for illegal objects.
Yeah, he checked over Zbyszko for a long ass time,
Yeah,
and all
yeah.
throughout the match, it kept showing like Bret Hart was favoring more of Eric Bischoff, which I'm sure that was part of the storyline that they were going to do. And then, so throughout the match, what'd you think of the match, like as is?
It was all right.
Yeah, it was.
It was all right, but it was so played out.
Yeah.
It was so played out along the lines of the whole Montreal Screwjob. It was like the junior version of the Montreal Screwjob, which is kind of a lead into later on. Like just the involvement of Bret Hart and him going, "No, I want to make sure that everything goes right." You know,
Yeah.
it's just God. Because later on in the match, there's like a steel plate or something put into Eric Bischoff's little combat slippers or whatever the fuck they're called, and he kicks Lex Luger or oh geez, Larry Zbyszko. He kicks Larry Zbyszko in the face, and the fucking thing goes flying off to the fucking to the fucking crowd. And
I didn't notice that. It really
you never
did?
saw that?
No.
Oh God, it was like painfully obvious. Like the steel plate just goes. And you see it, and
I gotta
you just
watch
go,
that again.
You go, oh fuck! I hope that doesn't hit somebody. And Bret Hart obviously saw it, and he like just, all right, well I saw it, so I'm gonna make sure that I fucking saw it, but I shouldn't have seen it, like, but it was just so weird, like how he should have taken it. To be honest, was just like.
A little side note to that with stuff going into the audience. So we have our stable of boys, and the big boss man is my lead boy. And whenever he was first starting off in WWF, he had the nightstick, and he was practicing trying to get the whole move down. The very first time he was coming out to the ring while doing the whole thing with the nightstick, it flips out of his hand. It goes straight into the crowd.
Poor boss man.
Oh man, that must have crushed him so bad. But
Yeah,
he gets it down.
He got it
afterwards.
He's like when I watched him in '99 or whatever. That's when he was really doing that. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, in the WWF, whenever he came back and he was actually the boss man again.
Yeah, with
but
the
he
SWAT
had
gear.
the whole black SWAT
I love
gear.
the SWAT
That's
gear. Yeah,
fucking great.
yeah. So this was for control over WCW.
Yeah, so the whole storyline with this one is it's Eric Bischoff versus Larry Zbyszko. If Bischoff wins, WCW Nitro becomes NWO Nitro, and if Zbyszko wins, then it just continues being WCW Nitro.
Yeah, I didn't understand that at all going into it, and I didn't understand it when they were announcing it towards the end of the match when Larry Zbyszko won, because the crowd, like the music that was playing and the crowd, like just the audio was just too loud to hear the audio or the commentators. It was just way too loud. I couldn't understand a damn thing this entire night almost of what the commentators were saying.
Yeah.
It was like I can't hear them. Okay. I mean, it's a telling sign of like how they're just like the behind the scenes and how they present everything, and we're gonna get to that now with this next match here. So we have they're leading into the match. They're saying, "Oh boy, am I ready for this?" And then we're like, "Okay, next match." And then it's more shots of Eric Bischoff being led to the back. And then they finally get to Michael Buffer. And that's when you know that shit's going down. It's the main event. And it's going to be Sting versus Hulk Hogan for the World Heavyweight Championship. Hulk Hogan comes out first. And he does... Did he come out to his Voodoo Child song for your end?
No, on the WWE Network, all of the Jimi Hendrix, Hulk Hogan song, all of that's been wiped out. Obviously, he doesn't want to pay for the royalties of that, so he comes out to his to the normal NWO song.
This could have been a memorable match, like a memorable main event. It had all the elements to make it really great, like a year-long build-up, the constant NWO versus WCW storyline, and the vignettes and the promos, everything. Like, this could have been a great match.
Well, not to mention that Sting has been out of the ring since, August 1996? September 1996, so... And he's just sporadically coming every once in a while to beat people up, or you don't know if he's on WCW side or NWO side. And all of this is coming up to this point. This is the final big match.
Yeah, this is supposed to be the big showdown.
And so before, right after Hogan comes to the ring, what did you think of the laser light show?
I fucking loved it.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I did.
It's so fucking cheesy.
That's the greatest part about it.
Yeah.
That's the greatest part about it. I loved it for the cheese factor. And for the time, that's actually really cool looking. There were some times like, okay, when they had the whole Sting like illustration of him going, that was weird. That was fucking weird. But like the Scorpion and like the other Sting looking things that were going on in that laser light show, I couldn't hear a goddamn thing the fucking kid was saying. Because there was like a kid like saying, blah, 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 shadow something.
Oh yeah,
something
yeah,
or another. Yeah. And like as like the lightning and the storm and everything, the lights flickering and all that shit, and all that was great. I love that. But then the technical difficulties of Sting entrance theme would be a telling sign of how this match would be remembered.
Yeah, they were doing that intro song, and then they had a pause of silence, and then all of a sudden they restart the song.
God, that just fucking ruins everything. That was the build-up to Sting coming out. And then you would see Sting, and then he would come down to the ring, and he's just fucking, like, he's in the zone and everything. But no.
I thought he looked kind of bored.
Yeah, well, that was the
thing he was trying to go for.
That was
as far
the demeanor
as
of the Sting Crow character was him going like this, going, I'm ready, like he had part of his jacket off a little bit, which I thought that was a little, but oh my god, did that fucking pause? It was it seemed like fucking 3 seconds or so, but it felt like an eternity to me.
Yeah, no, it felt like a long time. It was probably only like maybe 5 to 10 seconds.
It ruined it.
5 to 10 seconds of live TV, that's a fucking long time.
It is, and I could just imagine. This is what I think of it was somebody going, like the guy behind the soundboard, like making doing a hiccup, and then like pressing a button wrong, and then farting and just going, oh shit, fuck it. and just going, oh fuck, oh I didn't hit this button, oh fuck, I'll just restart the song.
What?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I'll get back to the whole hiccup and fart thing later on, but the match itself wasn't great.
Yeah, it was just okay.
Here we go.
So right at the very beginning of the match, when they're locking up and they're going back and forth, when Hogan is backing Sting into one of the turnbuckles, he's making this sound like hub up.
Yes.
Hub up. And you can see
that.
his mouth going, and he's like, it reminds me of a Muppet. A Muppet trying to talk, because he has Jamie calls him Hoboken, with the ugly beard and the and the blonde, the black beard with the blonde handlebar mustache. Mm-hmm. She calls him Hoboken, and just with all the hair around his mouth and him just making that fucking audible noise. It just reminds me of a Muppet trying to talk. It's just
That's pretty funny. Hulk Hoboken.
Hoboken.
You say that, and I for this iteration of Bret Hart, I call him Bret Hiccup Fart. So going back, that's
Bret Hiccup Fart.
Yeah, Bret Hitman Hart.
Yeah.
Just because that's how I remember him in WCW. It was just like a hiccup and a fart. It's like, well, that was pointless.
Oh my god, that's perfect. Yes,
pointless and awkward. So, oh god, there was literally like about 5 to 8 minutes of actual wrestling.
Which is, I would have to say that this match was actually, it had a lot more action than what we got at Halloween Havoc with Piper.
That wasn't great. Oh,
no, that was fucking dog shit.
Yeah. But then, like, a good majority of it was just stalling.
Yeah, there was a lot of stalling. There wasn't really a lot of you could see that the fans were bored.
Mm-hmm.
So,
For the whole storyline, Brett comes down and he stops the bell from ringing.
okay, let's lead into that. So they're wrestling, and Hulk Hogan does his finishing move, the big leg,
Mm-hmm.
and he pins Sting. So is Nick Patrick, right?
Nick Patrick, yes.
Yeah, Nick Patrick is down. He's counting on the mat. Did you actually watch him count?
It seemed like it was a normal count, right?
Yes. So it was a completely normal count, and he actually does the full 3. And then all of a sudden they do this horrible straight cut all to the bell, and Bret Hart is just standing there keeping the guy from ringing the bell.
Yeah.
And you can't really hear him too well, but you could hear him say, "Not again," or "I won't let this happen again," or something like that.
Doesn't make any sense, guys.
Yeah, it doesn't. And so I also did a little research. I was reading up on what happened at that time. There's a little conflicting reports as far as, was Nick Patrick paid off by Hogan? Was he stopped and told to do that? And he actually did an interview in, I believe, 2010, in which he said that he was told by one person to do a fast count, being paid off by the NWO, but then he was approached by Hogan just before the match and told to do just a straight count. Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. Fucking cunt Hogan. So, and then he said that he didn't know what to do. He was scrambling, trying to get with somebody from WCW to say, okay, am I doing the fast count? Am I doing a regular count? What am I doing?
So he pulled him aside and said, "Hey, brother, you need to do a slow count.
You need to do a normal count, brother. I need to get the belts.
I need to put myself over, brother.
I need to win again."
You need to make it seem like I didn't have that much trouble, brother. Oh, God. That's really fucked up.
It is. God damn.
Oh, wow. That is fucked up.
So, and then we get to, so Hogan and Nick Patrick come out of the ring. They circle around, and Nick Patrick is telling him to ring the damn bell, and Bret Hart is not having any of it.
God.
He picks Nick Patrick, and then they pause for a second, and it looks like he was trying to think of what he's going to do, and then he decks Nick Patrick. Yeah, it's just fucking awkward looking.
Yeah.
And then he gets Hogan back into the ring, and then he decides, hey, well, I'm going to restart the match. I was a referee before. Why can't I be a referee now?
He was a referee for the night.
It's still fucking dumb.
Yeah, it is.
So then we get the match started back up, and Sting does the splashes, and then he pins. Oh no, he doesn't pin.
Scorpion
He
Deathlock.
puts Hogan in the Scorpion Deathlock and looks at Bret Hart to make sure that he comes over and sees that Hogan is tapping out, and then Hogan taps out, and then hooray! Fucking Sting wins.
Yeah.
Why couldn't they let him win clean?
This match was just because they pointlessly shoehorned the whole Montreal Screwjob shit in. Just fucking ruined everything.
Yeah, and that's a running thing with WCW. It seems that they're trying to take whatever WWF is doing and replicate it, trying to make it their own. And this is obviously not going to be the end of all the copying, but this is just yet another example.
It's so fucking frustrating that you have a year-long build-up of one of your top guys. Your top face in the company. Year and a couple months. And you just fucking throw it all away. Just because of something that happened, which was not a work, by the way. in WWF.
That is still debatable.
More so, I was just invested with who was coming in the ring during the celebration.
Yeah, so and we actually just watched this just before doing this review. We watched the WCW Monday Nitro in which Lex Luger won the World Heavyweight Champion against Hulk Hogan, and I remember us watching that live back in '97, and that was I was a Hogan mark at the time, so I didn't like it, but it was something.
Yeah, I mean, it was it. Here's the thing. Because of it being the 100th episode. This was August 17th, 1997. So this was
August 4th.
No, whatever. It doesn't matter. This was in August 1997. Fuck you. So this was before Starrcade. Yes. The Starrcade that we're reviewing right now. And the celebration just felt so much better. It
felt more intimate. There was actual WCW wrestlers who are the higher end wrestlers, and some of the wrestlers coming out in their gear.
Yes,
and it made it look a little more authentic.
That's absolutely what I was going to get at. Was they were in their gear? You could recognize them. The only guy that we were like, who the fuck is this guy? Is like the bald referee. Because he was like in a red shirt, like a red polo shirt.
Yeah, red shirt and shorts.
And it was just kind of like...
Well, not shorts, but cargo shorts.
Who the fuck is this roly-poly motherfucker?
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, that was the only guy that we were like, the fuck? And then everybody else, we were like, oh, look, there's Dean Malenko not getting a high five from fucking Lex Luger.
Yeah. Well, Lex Luger was already turning around, so he...
Still. But you could, like, recognize everybody. In this, everybody was in, like, their street clothes.
And that's why all these wrestlers were in the audience. They were all coming out and into the ring to celebrate with Sting.
Lex was probably the only one that was still in his ring gear, and even then I don't remember. But I was more invested, like I said, with who was coming in the ring.
Yes.
So I have a list of who actually comes into the ring.
Ooh.
So this is from the first person to holy shit, what the fuck, there's like too many people to fucking keep up with. So first we have Lex Luger, Renegade.
Fucking Renegade. And Renegade was wearing one of the... So you saw Raven earlier, and Raven has the kind of Indian bead necklace choker, and Renegade was wearing the same fucking thing.
Yeah. So we have Lex Luger, Renegade, Giant, Louis Spicolli, Rocco Rock, Hugh Morris, James Vandenberg, Prince Iakea, Mortis, Alex Wright, Ernest Cat Miller, and Wrath. That's when I fucking lost count. Or I lost, who was actually in the ring, because it was like fucking just...
Yeah, just an explosion of people coming in.
A mass of, like, people in, like, dark clothes.
I remember seeing Rey Mysterio getting on somebody's shoulders, and then La Parka, because you could fucking spot La Parka everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Like Liz Mark Jr. was in there. God, I think Glacier was there. I'm pretty sure he was there. Mortis with his mask as well. It was
and I remember Renegade getting up on the turnbuckle and trying to get the audience pumped.
You fucking sap. God bless your soul. Yeah. Also, one thing that I fucking hated, Sting holding up the title upside down. I fucking hate that. You see the little plates that are like it almost looks like the Alamo, right?
Yeah.
And you fucking, the things are down. That means that you're fucking holding the title upside down. Don't do that. Fuck, I hate it. Because Lex Luger did the same goddamn thing in the Nitro that we watched. I fucking pointed that out. I fucking hate that shit. I hate it.
Well, I could understand that if it were a belt that had a lot more recognizable stuff on it, but this is just a big flat gold belt. You don't really see it's upside down that much. I mean, the top part looks exactly like the bottom part.
No, it doesn't. It does not.
Whatever.
It doesn't.
Well, anyways.
God, I hate that. I fucking hate that shit. Hold it up the right way, please. Because David Arquette did that shit.
Unforgivable.
Oh, boy.
So that was Starrcade 1997, and obviously this is the end. This is the end of 1997, which was a banner year for WCW. This was their peak, and it all just goes downhill from here. So overall, what'd you think of the pay-per-view?
It was all right. Second time viewing it, I was kind of like, eh. It was not as like I wasn't as invested in it, but I think that's because of like stuff going on, personal life because of like work and all that, and I was just kind of like jotting down notes and everything. But it was good. It was good. Yeah, there were just like little nitpicky stuff, and then like the technical difficulties. Holy shit! Fuck, God, I hate that. Like just the crowning of the shit cake was, or the cream of the shit cake was just the Sting interruption. I was like, oh boy, oh no. But overall, the pay-per-view was pretty good. I didn't notice the buildup of like heel winning, and then you slowly get the faces going over. I didn't notice that, so thank you for pointing that out. Could have been more title matches.
Yeah, this is again their WrestleMania, and they only had the U.S. title and the heavyweight title, well, and the cruiserweight title. Why weren't the tag team belts on the line? Where was the TV belt?
Yeah, exactly.
Where was, what else did they have at this time?
I think that was it, but still, just put all your titles on the line.
Yeah.
If you already are missing one match because somebody was a no-show, fucking throw on the WCW like television title. Tag team titles. Come on. Do something better.
Yeah.
Come on. Unbelievable. But it was a good show. What'd you think of it?
I thought it was dud. I would say avoid it. It was, the first match was pretty much the only entertaining spot.
Yes.
The rest of it was just a horrible mess of just, what the fuck are you thinking? Why didn't you do something just more simple? You don't have to throw so many swerves in there. You don't have to build it up with such complicated bullshit, and stop with the fucking NWO constantly getting over. Even though I appreciated it at the time, it just, no wonder they lost so much fucking money.
Oh gosh.
In viewership.
It was just like oversaturation of the NWO is what like really started doing in WCW, just constantly NWO.
Yeah, you're not promoting your young talent. You got to get fresh faces in there.
Yep.
And for the longest time, I thought I didn't understand why Vince McMahon and WWF really downplayed the DX thing after a while and just had them disband to go do other stuff. I thought they were just red hot. He would just keep going on and on with it. But it was smart that he did that, because overall, over time, it would have just gotten stale, and you have to introduce new storylines and new people. Mm-hmm. So, and obviously we know who the winner is.
Yeah.
So,
wrestling is always evolving. Wrestling never stays the same. You're always going to have like the basis of wrestling, but you can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again. That's just not how the business works. People get bored real easily.
Yep.
So when you just have NWO and then you go, oh shit, people are actually not wanting the NWO anymore. Here's an idea. Let's split them apart. No, because that makes it real stale. And then once that cake starts getting stale, then you're like, oh, okay, I guess I could have this cake still, but it's not as great as this other cake that's going on over here in WWF. So maybe I'm gonna dabble a little bit in this. 98, 99. It's all history for WCW.
Sure seems to be a lot of cakes in there.
Cake. I love cake.
All right, so that's I don't know. You got anything else on this?
That's pretty much it. No,
nice.
That's pretty much it there. I mean,
well, thank you for watching, and I'm not sure what we're going to do next. I've got a couple ideas. There's kind of different things I want to do, but I'm kind of with work and everything. I'm just kind of thinking right now, but
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Royal Rumble.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
My favorite.
Well, we never watched that.
Watched what?
That Royal Rumble.
Which Royal Rumble?
98.
Yeah, that would be next.
I know. But like when it first came out, we never watched it.
No. Our first pay-per-view was the Road Wild, the 98 Road Wild, which I actually just recently watched, and it wasn't that bad, actually.
Road Wild?
Yeah, Road Wild.
Is that with Karl Malone or is that with Jay Leno?
No, that was Jay Leno. I think Dad specifically bought it because he wanted to see Jay Leno fight.
Was it called Road Wild or was it called Hog Wild?
No, it's Road Wild because Hog Wild is copyrighted by Harley Davidson, I believe.
Ah, okay. All right.
Yeah, it's Road Wild.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So Royal Rumble 98.
That's thinking about it, and yeah, so.
All right. Cool.
Cool.
That's about it.
Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Tuesday.